Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Kryptonite Show. Woohoo! We've got a lot of fun stuff on today. In fact, howdy everybody. We're going to have a great time. And look, we got a few people in the house already. Property View, great show already. Hey, we just started and already awesome. I appreciate that, Property View. We got Sean O'Malley as well. Morning. You're doing well. Now, the one thing I was going to say about the show, we got something special today. Something special, and that is HeartWifDog. HeartWifDog, and of course, it is a sensation, and we're going to be talking about that. So, yeah, viral anime. It's going to be crazy. So, if you like cartoons, comics, animations, a game, as they call it in Japan, anime, we're going to be covering it with HeartWifDog, and we're going to be looking at the story with the main character there called Hog. So, that's coming up in the second half of the live stream, so you don't want to miss that. That is huge. Now, it's got some pretty interesting stuff in it. It deals with some big celebrities. It deals with influencers, and it's got twists and turns. And man, it is crazy. So we're going to get into that. We have got the latest. We've got the latest episode, chapter 10, which has just been released. So I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. And it's edgy. I like that. And it's on PulseChain. It's been around for just over 7 months, I think. And man, it is, I think it's going to go pretty viral. There's a lot more chapters coming out after this, as well as Onion, and a lot more bullish events coming as well. I think you might be surprised where HeartWifDog goes to. So obviously also got a token that trades as well called Hog, HeartWifDog. So yeah, we're going to check that out in the second half. So stay tuned for that. Before that, though, we're going to get into PulseChain's bullish outlook. We're going to go through some of the fundamentals, and we're going to do some fun. You guys like to have play with some moon math? We're going to do some moon math. I thought that'd be a bit of fun to do. So that's going to be in for PulseChain. So if you like to see that, we're getting the best of both worlds. We've got PulseChain pumpamentals, and we've got some of the best, I guess, artwork and storytelling from a HeartWifDog. So it's going to be a lot of fun today. Show is going to be awesome. We got X-Grade in the house there. Hey, gang, good to see you. Definitely smash the like and share around as well. In fact, let's do that. Let's get on X and share that around the show. So let me just pull up the link, and you guys can share that. I'm going to post it myself, and let's play that in there as well. It does help a lot when you guys share it. So share show on X. And let's post that there. Bam. All right. Nice one. I appreciate the X-Grader. And that is the link there right there. So, yeah, share it around. That's for sure. Bam. Share show on X. All right. If you're on YouTube, of course, smash the share. We're streaming on 3 different YouTube channels. Of course, as you guys know, the Kryptonite Show, Superman Crypto, and PulseChain X. A big shout out to everybody on all those channels. And, of course, if you're watching on X as well, special thanks. And, yeah, share. Sharing and scaring. Leave some comments as well. That always helps as well. And not just for my show, but do it for all the PulseChain crypto shows that you like. Definitely show a lot of support. It really does help everybody. And of course, ultimately grows the PulseChain and crypto community, which is pretty exciting. So get out there and do that. All right. Let's see here. We've got Craig Pitt in the house there. Morning all. Good to see you, Craig. Big shout out to you as always. Pulse X as well. PulseChain just going sideways at the moment. Hey, look, accumulate. That's the sign, right? That's the signal. Accumulate at the moment. And of course, if you like TA people to follow them, there's some good ones in our community. We've got Access Alive. I think Gerardo's back streaming now, so you can check his stuff out. I'm sure he's done a lot of TA in the past and lots of cool different price targets. Who else does TA? There's a few other people that have done TA. They're not quite on deck at the moment. But let me know in the chat there. Post influencers that you've got that you know that do TA regularly. That's technical analysis for those that are new. So yeah, that is in the chart. So sort of helps guide you where the chart's going. So definitely check out that. Yeah, there's a couple. There's probably at least 4, maybe 4 that I can think of. There used to be maybe 5 or 6, but yeah, I think there's probably 4 that do a lot of TA analysis. So that's kind of cool. I tend to do a lot of fundamental analysis, and every so often I do some TA stuff, like we did our TA course the other day on RSI and moving averages. But these guys do a lot more content around that. All right, we got the Diamond Hands announced their moo. I like it, and a 555, and we don't see too many of those these days. But yeah, you want to get the 5555 out there and the 369. Go for it, go for gold. That's all I can say. We got Brennan House there, morning super. Good to see ETH close above the 200 EMA after the Sunday dump. Yeah, that's very, very bullish. And of course, we did have the Moody's downgrade, right, which we're going to talk about quickly too. We got HeartWifDog in the house. A big shout out. I'm here for it. What this interesting project? Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome, man. It's going to be pretty awesome. We're looking forward to covering your project. It's going to be pretty epic, Nate. As I understand it, we're going to see a lot of coverage on HeartWifDog, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We actually might be splitting the coverage up today. We're going to be covering probably a little bit more, not tomorrow, but on Thursday on the live show. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm here for it, Suit Man. Yeah, interested in this HeartWifDog. Absolutely. Go the hog, as they say. Go the hog. That's what they say on the street. That's on the street. We got hello from Hex Tent City. Says, Brown, good to see you, Farmer J. Big shout out to you as well. And, of course, Richie Robertson, Superman, has come to save us. Save us. Yeah, that's it. Save us is the one. Hey, we got Gerardo in the house there. So I was just talking about TA experts. So Gerardo's in there. So big shout out, Gerardo. And it's great to see Gerardo streaming again. We've had two big influencers come back. These are in the kind of the top 10. Gerardo doing streaming. Obviously, he does a lot of building and development. We're going to be using one of his sites today, which is the Magic Art Ride. But he also does a lot of TA and some very clever sort of, visuals around technical analysis. So, pretty cool. Big shout out, Gerardo. The other person that we've seen back is Jim Rat Crypto. So back streaming as well and just hitting the ground running. Pretty awesome, eh? So, PulseChain's on the search, guys. That alone, having all these big influencers doing streaming again is just another pumpamental on PulseChain, right? Because huge reach and great content. That's pretty much a lot of diverse content. Big shout out there from Brennan as well. He's our TA guru. Brennan's our own TA guru in the Discord. So there we go. Lots of love between the brothers, as it were. Brothers from another mother. All right, so I'm going all gangster. I don't know. It's not really gangster. What is it? Brotown? Maybe Brotown, something like that. All right, so let's get into it without further ado, and let's get into the content. Yeah, and make sure you repost the show. That would be really helpful. That is what we're going to be looking at later on, folks. It's a little teaser. We're going to be looking at, of course, HeartWifDog. It's going to be viral anime. And, of course, it's a kind of a special place on PulseChain. We've covered a lot of DeFi. We've covered a lot of GameFi. And, of course, we actually want to do a lot more, art coverage in the space because we've got so much stuff, NFTs, of course. We got lots of cool stuff coming. We just obviously had the monster thread go out yesterday. If you haven't seen the monster thread, you definitely got to share that around. In fact, I'm going to post that in the chat there. I'm pretty sure I've still got it here. So let me just get that as well. I think I've got the monster thread here. You guys got to repost that. That is huge. It is basically a weekly update of all the hottest things that have happened on PulseChain, but it'll also give you a bit of a window into all the edgy things that are happening on PulseChain that a lot of people don't see, right? And that's really important. So the monster thread's a perfect combination between sort of the main big stuff that you often see for the last week, some of the real bullish stuff, and also a lot of the edgy stuff, the communities that are out and about in the PulseChain, and that's really important, right? It's a real a drive of mine is that we've got the small projects, the medium projects, the big project, the small communities, the medium communities, the big communities. You get the spirit of that, and that they're all getting some light, because there's a lot of innovation, a lot of excitement out there, and it just goes to show you how absolutely big the PulseChain community is, right? It's a lot bigger than people think, if they're just in one area, for example. So it is a big, big space. All right, so I'm going to post the link to the monster thread. And a big shout out to Crypt MVS, our promotional lead. As you guys know, recently we've gone into promotions because we feel there's a real big need there. So we've been doing a lot of that sort of work as well and getting a lot of great feedback, which has been fantastic. So check that out. Here's our promotion leads, Crypto MVS there doing the monster thread. So let's post that and highlight that a little bit there. So kind of cool. Let me see here. That is the link there. Now I'm going to just set this up a little bit. So we've got the teaser there. And this is the monster thread here. So definitely check it out. It is the second week. And the first week was huge. We had 16,300 views on it, and it's still climbing on the first weekly thread. 16,300. That's from zero, pretty much. So, it's been really, really popular. We've had tons of community members, tons of influencers, a ton of non-Pulse Chain people, large influencers and people like that see it. And this is what it's all about, right? Everybody out on the Pulse Chain is doing their thing, whether you're a community member, whether you're on a video, whatever it is, you're making artwork, whatever it is, you're playing your role. And of course, it just make more vibrant Pulse Chain, right? So, we've got really cool stories in there. The $1 million debate challenge goes viral from Rick and Michelle. The big sacrifice wallet, which we're going to talk about today. And that's actually going to be using Gerardo's site, as I said earlier. We've got lots of cool stuff. Rising stars on Pulse Chain with X Spaces. I mean, that's happening, folks. And I love this one here. This is DJ Cryptomatic. Of course, roller skating party rocks Pulse Chain for the second birthday for Pulse Chain. And we've got this cool image here of DJ Cryptomatic. And look at this video. This is professional setup, man. This is next level. And that you can, pretty much watch and get along with the funk. We have a lot of people from Discord, check this out. So this is pretty awesome. They watch it quite regularly, some of them. So it is pretty epic. So definitely check it out, the Monster Thread, and share it around. That's the biggest thing you can do as well. Not only enjoy reading it, but share it around and leaves comments and likes and the usual stuff. Really, really big deal there. So awesome stuff there coming from the Kryptonite Show promotional team, and a big shout to MVS there, our promoter lead. All right, so that is kind of our administration, but I just want to get that out there because it's really important, and we're making a change there. It's going to be sort of the go-to weekly news sort of newsletter, isn't it? With the Monster Thread there for Pulse Chain. All right, let's jump away to the stock market. We're going to have a quick look at that. And of course, as you guys know, why is the stock market important to Pulse Chain? Well, so it's just like political news, right? Because it's all going to affect how well the whole markets do when they take off, things like that. So we've had the S&P 500 closes higher after shrugging off Moody's US downgrade. And, it's a pretty dodgy sort of downgrade for Moody, citing things that were also true under Biden, right? So it was a little bit, is it a bit of a Democrat play? Because they control all these institutions in many ways. So I don't know, you decide. But yeah, Moody's downgraded the US ratings, citing debt concerns. Of course, the debt was there before Trump, and it's going to be there, after Trump. And of course, Trump's probably the first person to actually try to actually solve it. And there's a couple of ways of doing it, right? We've talked about that. So anyway, Moody's downgraded that, but the market pretty much shimmed it off and decided to. It said, nah, I think Trump's doing probably pretty good, and we'll just ignore you. And of course, if you've seen the movie The Big Short, right, where they go up to the credit agency and say, hey, don't you see that that's housing markets and it's going to be an imminent collapse? Oh no, it's all good, because we got our relationships to care about, we got our jobs to care about. Right, so it's kind of a bit like that if you've seen the Big Short. Anyway, we got the Dow Jones at the moment up 1/3%, 137 points to 42,791. S&P 500 up 0.1% to up 5 points, 5,963. Then we got the Nasdaq, which is just flat, just slightly green, up 4 points to 19,200, and that's got all the tech companies in it. So that's looking pretty good on there. Now the US dollar is still, relatively strong compared to where it went to. When Trump came in, it was about 100. When Trump first came in for the first week or so, from the 20th of January, it was kind of up to about 109, I think, on the index versus the trading partners, which mean a very strong US dollar. And of course, then it weakened off, with the tariffs hitting, and of course, in early May, and of course, in early April, I should say, and then of course. We ended up seeing it go down to about 98. It's now 100 there as well. So strengthened a little bit there off the back. Commodities at the moment, West Texas is $62, Brent oil at 65. They're up slightly today. And of course, that is a big win for Trump, right? He's got oil prices down about $20. As you guys know, the two key inputs that you want to control to boost an economy, one is oil prices, because it impacts about 90% of the goods made, right? And the other one is interest rates, right? Because the oil impacts all the physical goods, and the interest rates impact all the financial markets, right? So that is the key thing you want to get to, and they have a ripple effect through all the categories in the markets. So obviously the interest rates is the other one he doesn't have full control over, right? Because it's run by the Federal Reserve, which is independent. You can decide about that. But we got gold at the moment, 3,223. It's down slightly, and silver there, $32.50 on silver. So they're down a little bit there after a little rally yesterday. So that's pretty much it around the key stuff there. There was a little bit of drama around Walmart and tariffs from Trump. Apart from that, that was more just a Democrat mainstream media story that they wanted to go with. But obviously tariffs have an impact on retail prices, and we know that Trump's largely using it to reorder the world trade, and that's the first time really since the 1980s and probably the Bretton Woods in the 1940s. So it's really the first time of a major world reorganization, and everyone's getting in line pretty much, right? So the 115 countries or more just wanting to make deals. Even China recently, in principle, made deal too. UK, of course, free trade agreement after 25 years made deal. And so he's reorganizing things, right? Because there's been a massive structural shift, and some of the outcomes that they thought might happen back in the day didn't happen. And of course, America ended up losing like 7 million jobs since 1975 of the last 50 years. And of course, it gutted the Midwest, right? And so these are the red states, right? They got abused, and the blue states did really well, right? So it's pretty much the game. And that was going to continue under the Democrats, and Trump's reversing a lot of it, right? And so pretty awesome. How's he doing that? We've talked about that several times, but basically he's doing a three-legged stool strategy. Number one is the big tax bill that got approved finally on a Sunday. And of course, that's been pushed through to the next stage this week. And of course, they want to get that big tax bill that will, pretty much embed tax extensions and a lot of other no tax on tips and things like that. That's going to be for they want to get that through on the 26th of May. And so that's a pretty big day. And so that's gone through after a little bit of hiccup, from the Freedom Caucus. That's going through. The second one, of course, part of that dealing with the federal budget was the Doge for Elon Musk, of course, getting about 160 to $200 billion out. And of course, I think that's probably ended up being maybe $500 billion. They also faced a lot of pushback, remember, from the courts. This is from the Democrats trying to shut down a lot of the fraud and stuff being caught out. But they probably could have got to $1 trillion, maybe even much higher. So we'll still see. I think that's still going to play out, but just take a bit longer to play out. And of course, that's a lot of savings, right? And that will deal with the budget deficit, which is about $2 trillion a year. Obviously, the total debt is about $37 trillion, and that's what Moody was on about. And then, of course, they're going to, if they get the costs out and then they slowly raise the revenue through taxes, there's going to be a little hit at the beginning, potentially on the tax bill, right? But then if we get the economic growth that comes out of these policies, then 3-4% growth, then we're going to make more revenue, and therefore we'll be well ahead and hopefully moving slowly towards a balanced budget, and maybe the deficit being 3% of GDP, something like that. That's kind of the overall numbers. And of course, the second strategy was deregulation and leverage, particularly small medium banks. So we're going to be looking for that. That's going to be processing through. That includes crypto, right, which is going to be going right on through. We're going to hear, I think, a lot of little announcements going along to make up a big announcement by September. And then, of course, we've also got the third leg of the strategy we talked about, which is reorganizing the world trade, and of course, dealing with the trade deficit, which is $1.2 trillion. And of course, the most important thing around that is physical goods, resources, and of course, the ability to have security in the United States. Because if your enemy is controlling most of your manufacturing and supply lines and resources, you're pretty much in trouble, right? And for the US, that's a big problem because they are the big powerhouse in the world, right? So that's kind of the big play there for the US. And so that strategy is playing out. It's got to be in place by the 4th of July. And once it's in place, that has laid the foundation for Trump for the golden age of America after the 4th of July. And it will be a beautiful thing. You're going to see more things being built in the United States than you could ever believe, from manufacturing of cars through to high tech and space. It's going to be all around, right? And that's going to lift wages as well, with the lifting of manufacturing and all the other stuff, AI, robots, all that good stuff. So that's kind of the lay of the land. I think we're going to see a lot of infrastructure work as well in the United States, which is desperately needed. It's going to be just the golden age for sure. And of course, because he's shutting down the border and drugs and things like that, America's going to become a safer, more healthier, prosperous country. And of course, that will flow into the rest of the world. That is pretty much it. Now, why is that relevant? Well, it's all relevant because it's going to build a absolutely fundamental market and boom time for crypto. Right, so we're going to be participating in the golden age of America. We're also probably going to see a lot more money printing, right? And I think we're going to eventually see the interest rate pivots, probably the next meeting, because inflation has been pulled down, right? So that's kind of where I see it playing out. Very, very exciting times ahead for us all, I think. All right, so let's jump into the crypto markets. Crypto at the moment is down almost 1%, 3.44 trillion. And as I keep saying, it's such a small market, right? Crypto is such a small market. And, we've got derivative markets probably in the quintillions, right? So this is just a still very small market here, 3.447 trillion. Just to get to gold, we got like a 9-10x just to get to the gold market cap. And of course, as BlackRock said, Bitcoin is the new digital gold. So yeah, it's going to be a fun ride for us all. We're still, it seems crazy, but even since 2009 when Bitcoin came out, we're so early, right? And it's 2025, so it's only just on the takeoff time. Could you believe it? It's taken that long, pretty much 16 years to get to takeoff time. And here we are with Bitcoin over $100,000. Unbelievable. We're at $105,559 at the moment, down 0.3% at the moment. But hey, look, all-time high is only 109,000. We're not far away from that. Ethereum there, number 2, is at $2,500, up 2.5%. So we have been seeing a bit of a better move from Ethereum, which was struggling previously versus Bitcoin. We haven't really had the altcoin season. Bitcoin dominance was growing, right? Over 62%, 63%. We've got XRP at number 4. That is down 1.4%. BNB at number 5 is flat today, $650. Solana there is down 2.5%. And we are, we've got the Monday results out from the US. So let's see where we go this week. We got Solana there at $165, down 2.5%. Number 8 is Dogecoin, down 2.3% at 22 cents. Number 9 is Cardano or ADA. You have to excuse my accent there. Down 1.4%. And number 10, Tron, is pretty flat there at 26.5%. So those are our top 10 at the moment, including the stable coins. The best performer over the last week has been Bitcoin, up 2.9%. So that just exudes, Bitcoin dominance to some degree, even though ETH had quite a bit of a bounce back for sure. And that's pretty much it at the moment. So everything else is pretty much down for the week, except for Ethereum, which was up 0.9%. And so that's kind of where we are, the two majors there leading the way. Now, in terms of the top 100, we've got Bidget token up 9% in the last week. And of course, Aave, they're up 9% as well. And Hyperliquid, which, obviously it's been a pretty big deal. It's up 7.6% number 3. Tokenized Exchange number 4, and a Lombard stake, BDC up 3.6%. So those are top 5 in the top 100. Looking at top gainers, we've had Collateralize, Kita, and TokenBot up at the moment. And then of trending AI companions, Kita and Solana. So we have seen a bit of a rebound in some of the AI coins, seen a rebound in some of the meme coins, particularly the ones that were, in the bottom of the top 100 moving up as well. So, we've seen a couple of those sort of trends happening. And it's definitely worth, analyzing, breaking down some of those big moves because we're still early, right? And we've seen those early. Some of those could quickly go from number 90 up to, number 15 or something like that. So you want to be riding those trains, right? Particularly for, blue chip cryptos. All cryptos pretty speculative for the most part, but blue chips is it's not stable coins. It's kind of the big players that could make mad gains with relatively low downside. It's kind of the play there. All right, I'm not sure if you can see my little rabbits there, rabbit ears. All right, so that's kind of the play. So let's get into it. Let's into PulseChain, and let's see if we've got any more comments in the chat. Before we do, we got Tintop in the house there. Hey, what's up, Hexkins? Good to see you, Tintop, as always, and Valiant as well. Greetings. I'm here for the crypto night. Yeah, crypto night. Well, that's definitely at the beginning of the show, that's for sure. Wookie says, Wookie is your sports expert up the Wires. Yeah. You've been, the Wires aren't even playing, the Warriors, and you've been supporting them every day, which is pretty awesome. All right, let's get back into it. Let's get into PulseChain. And of course, the main topic here for the first half of the show is PulseChain's bullish outlook. So we're going to go through a few little, bullish things, and then also talk about do some, moon math there. It's going to be cool. So let's go through PulseChain's bullish future. And of course, I'm supposed to say outlook, but hey, that's just the way it goes. All right, so let's get into it. So the first one there, we've seen some recent moves, right, for PulseChain. And one, of course, we've had PulseChain developers. We've seen, constant projects coming out. A lot of ROI protocols, a lot of farm variations, a lot of, we've seen the Fetch Oracle from Liquid Loans. We've got a lot of array of different types of protocols coming out, right? So we've had a lot of that, and that's actually been quite cool, keeps flourishing. The market keeps moving, right? Moving is a very important part, right? And whether people are moving from one to another, we've seen a lot of that. We've seen a lot of big influencers launch tokens and support tokens, a lot of things happening in the space. And of course, we've also seen a lot of people outside of PulseChain, talking about, things on PulseChain as well around new projects. We've got a lot of new projects coming. We'll talk about that soon. We've had tri-stables, right, from Richard Hart. launching USDC, USD Tether, and DAI pool there. Very, very clever move there with the tri-stables on PulseX. And of course, we've also had the incentive inflation cut 20x or so on the old incentive token. And so now we've got very low emissions, base about 55 million, very low emissions, about 2,600 a day. We were one incentive token per second. We're now down to 0.03 ink per second. So that's pretty dramatic. And of course, if we get the Master Chef contract handed over to the people, power to the people, then maybe the incentive token there is the logical choice for the DAO token, and that could be pretty major, right? And that could usher in other things for PulseX as well. So giving a pretty big utility to incentive token. But of course, there are a lot of other third-party options for ink as well, relatively scarce. And what did we see yesterday? We saw Rochelle, the big whale on PulseChain, announce that he was picking up incentive token. So it just keeps rolling on for INC. We saw a pretty big rebound in incentive token from $1.16 all the way up to $1.90, something like that, in a heartbeat. And of course, people talking about pretty big moon math, $100, $1,000 for ink. There's pretty big moon math out there. We're going to do a bit of that today. Then, of course, we've got PulseX Farms, P thinner, right? So that thinned out the farms when the ink token inflation was cut so dramatically, and the farms got thinner. What that mean? That the price can move down faster on the downtrend, which we experienced, but it also means that the price can move up faster on an uptrend, which we're going to play with shortly as well. Pump Ties, of course, was launched by Richard Hart's team, and it was pretty fun out of the gates. I know a lot of people that have used it and are still using from time to time. So that is still playing its role, obviously burning a lot more PulseX as well. And of course, some of our top tokens that have been in the market the last 3 to 4 months have been from Pump Ties. Also defends against any exploits from fork tokens and things like that. Should that be an ongoing issue, obviously reflecting on PDI makeout rate. Then we also got the Hex SAC and Gen Wallet staking. They did some short-term stakes. Now they've done some ladder stakes. That has not just following in on the incentive token, that lowered the T-share payout from about 7.6 Hex down to about 1.6 Hex per T-share. And obviously that resets the dynamics. And of course, that makes Hex are relatively scarce in many ways. And we'll see what happens to the price. Then the price offsetting, the yield there. It could be pretty interesting. And only so many people can hold Hex, all that good stuff. So it's pretty cool. And of course, on the Ethereum side, we've got Dipcatcher over there doing a second layer protocol. Hexflex there using eHex as the wrapped Hex for that protocol as the fee. And of course, that's going to open up a ton of innovation, getting quite a bit of support from that Ethereum side of the market. And of course, eHex is the genesis, as it were. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see that. That's the sort of recent moves that we're seeing. Obviously, the SEC case, you can't say that's pretty incredible. It also makes PulseChain a pretty special blockchain in the market. And of course, the Richard Hart tickers, PulseX, Pulse, incentive token Hex, have got that sort of legal support. And who else has that? Really, not very many else out there. And of course, who defeated the SEC? Richard Hart. And of course, this is huge, right? That is really big. We also see that Rack and Michelle has been putting a press release together to send out just about that one topic to a lot of participants, and we should see, institutions, VC money, lots of different types of entities, commercial operations seeing their press releases, my guess, depending on where you're sending. But that is pretty big, and of course, he's using that to leverage that case, which is huge. And we should see, none of the silly, platforms, deplatforming PulseChain, because we've actually got more credibility than all the other chains, right? So, it's a big deal there. PDI Maker was closed down, by Katie and XUST team, who I interviewed like last week. So it's been pretty good pumpamental, right? Recent moves, and of course, a big deal there. Stop the exploit, Mr. Dom, and all that sort of stuff. And of course, then we saw Richard Hart do a video, and man, that was full of pumpamentals, wasn't it? That video, that was a lot of clips floating around with the old Richard Hart, which was pretty outstanding, right? You guys all got to agree. And of course, this is my favorite. I actually haven't got it queued up, so I'm going to cue this in because I think it's probably worth putting in here now. So let me see here, and I'm going to play this video.
You could get a God candle at any moment. You could get a giant green candle at any moment because it's easier to get them. You could get a God candle at any moment. You could get a giant green candle at any moment because it's easier to get them because it takes less economic energy because there's less of it for sale.
So that's the key takeaway, right? He's lowered the incentive tokens. He's done all this stuff with PulseX. The liquidity is way down, a couple of $1 million. And of course, now on the way up, it's a real big signal about where we're going. And he's talking about God mode candles here. You should be getting pretty bullish on that, right? So that's kind of the play. And then we have, of course, a Richard Hart video was pretty powerful. Had lots of other cool insights into it. And it was just great overall just to see Richard, on the screen, right? And everyone's excited there. Of course, that is the play. So that's kind of some recent moves. These are all kind of signals. A lot of these are Richard Hart moves, and they're kind of signals for the future. We haven't really seen PulseChain follow the EIEP upgrades, and for some good reason, about second layer protocols, eating your lunch, all the same criticisms he has for Ethereum. I guess he's avoided that here on PulseChain, right? So that's kind of play there. So let's look at the future moves. Future moves, of course, Signum Oracle coming. Come on, Stu. We know you're close. Stu's pretty close. He's got the bugs fixed. He's been testing hardcore. Signum, I think, 4 is really, really, really close now. And of course, that's also going to bring on Tetra. Tetra's first, then Signum Oracle is coming about 2 days later. So all things equal, right? All things equal there. Maybe a couple of days later. I don't know. We can see. But Tetra's to come out first. That's going to open up a whole new market, I think, on PulseChain with Tetra coming, particularly around trading and interacting with smart contracts. I think that could be a real whirlwind there, not just for the retail book, but also for influencers, and of course development teams can use it as well. So pretty exciting stuff happening in that space. So that's kind of exciting. Let's see how we're doing for time here. We're doing pretty well. And of course, here we got PulseChain number 2, PulseChain developers boom, GameFi, DeFi, and Killer DApp. Now, we've seen a lot of different protocols coming out here. Now, we're talking about one that came out 7 months ago here today, of course, HeartWifDog around anime, which is pretty special on PulseChain, as you guys can imagine. And so, yeah, but we've got a lot of other protocols coming, GameFi, DeFi, killer apps. And, of course, some of these we're covering as X Game from Firewhale. We're covering, Mafia from Jacob. We've got really killer DeFi coming, Aave, modified Aave forks, a PUSD ALGO. XUSD is on here with the Vibratile asset. These are all innovative. They're all, taking different paths for value. And, they've got some big backers and things like that. It's really exciting to see where this go. We've had Sparta launch. We've got Gugot out there doing amazing stuff. And if you haven't seen King and Crown and all that stuff, they are doing incredible stuff. And, like I say, I think Gugot's a real role model for a lot of project teams. If they really want to ramp up, you see the awesome momentum that it's doing out there. So you've got project teams like that doing a lot of cool stuff with innovative tokenomics. So it's something for everybody, and it's expanding pretty big there as well. We've got a number of projects that we cover, which we call pretty much rising stars. And of course, they're going to do well also. So, really, really building stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening in the background that a lot of people don't see. And of course, people are networking, people are innovating, people are trying to make things even better. So this is all sitting, out there in the PulseChain community as well. Now, will we see single-side staking over the old PulseX? And of course, that's a question. And then we've got the Magic Cart Ride. And we're going to talk about the Magic Cart Ride, of course, the 171,000 Ethereum, which is kind of like the strategic PulseChain reserve now, right? That's kind of a little thing that maybe have came out of Richard's posts. Yeah, that's pretty cool on X. So we're going to talk about that. We've got new protocol linked to PulseX. What could we? We could get all sorts of things linked to PulseX. It's got, incentive tokens, pretty low inflation now. Anything, and of course, buy and burn on PulseChain was at 7.13%. We got all this stuff happening, and thin liquidity. Man, a new protocol on PulseX. Man, could be amazing. Multiple protocols on PulseX. So will it come from Richard? Will it come through a DAO system? There's lots of opportunities there as well. And then, of course, ultimately, if Richard Hart starts streaming, right, no one's got bigger engagement than Richard Hart. He just hit 350,000 followers on X. Imagine what he can do when he gets back streaming. Obviously, still got the Interpol nonsense going on there. Hopefully, his lawyers and that will deal with that in short order. And of course, Richard Hart streams again. That would be pretty alpha. And he doesn't have to like he always used to stream, but he can, a couple streams here and there will really ignite the community. And of course, with the victory over the SEC and all the stuff he's been right about, particularly market calls. Market calls have been unbelievable. And protecting a lot of people from really bad CFI projects has been a big deal there. So that is a big one there. And of course, the community will enjoy his animation, which he always brings to live shows. And of course, the live viewers are huge, right? Massive, tens of thousands of viewers, and it's likely. I know likely to get even bigger. It's really, really possible there. Now, the Richard Hart wallet, of course. He's talked about forking a wallet, right? Bullish, right? Bullish. Now, obviously, we've got a really good wallet out there at the moment, Internet Money from KG. And of course, that's hit over 75,000 wallet downloads and probably even higher now, probably 80,000 or so, 85 even, ever since Rabby Wallet sort of abandoned us again. Just another sort of nonsense from fake DeFi right out there. And of course, Rich Hart talked about forking a wallet as well. So we'll see where that goes in the future. It's going to be pretty interesting. And what happens could be pretty neat as well. And it comes back to the other PulseX tokens as well. How does it interact regarding scarcity and demand and things like that? And then, of course, we've got the Rich Hart stable. People talking about Rich Hart stable since, make it close down, or we call it the PDI Maker theory. And, of course, we got the Rich Hart stable there, right? Is there going to be something around that? And, of course, if you guys remember way back in the day, Rich Hart had this, there was kind of an unofficial roadmap for running around. I don't know if it was unofficial, but it was running around. I had a copy of it, and I had my own copy and, added things to it. So that's out there too. So who knows what else we might see also. And you can let us know in the chat there what you guys think. Then, of course, we got community growth boom. I really feel like we're seeing that now, right? We've got influencers coming back. We talked about Gerardo and Jim Rat Crypto. We probably, maybe others there. I don't know, Hodl Dog. I don't know how much he's doing out there, but we've got other people, right, out there. And, of course, community growth boom is really just starting to pick up. I sense a turnaround in the last 3 weeks or so, particularly. So, just keep a lookout for that. It could be pretty exciting. And our potential community could be increased, and our actual realized community could be increased as well dramatically. So keep a lookout for that. And then, of course, ultimately institutional money, right? The big money coming in. Well, we have big whales like Rack and Michelle, a VC. He's out there outreaching. Maybe that letter that he's going, that press release, will be out to other institutionals and VC money, potentially even back to the Saudi money. We obviously saw Trump do big trade deals with the Saudis. $1.2 trillion, $3.5 to $4 trillion through that Middle East with Qatar and, of course, UAE. And so, let's see what happens there. That could be pretty exciting. So, it's a lot of cool stuff's happening in that space. And, of course, you got the whales doing their thing, Rack and Michelle and Firewell out there doing some pretty awesome stuff there around X Game and, of course, think tanks and all sorts of stuff, social media, Heist of Stakes 2, the sequel, possibly the version 1 getting on, Netflix again or something like that. So there's a lot of cool bullish stuff there. So that's just some of the bullish pumpamentals for PulseChain with the outlook. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see that. We've got a few people in the chat there. We've got Spirit Tomb there. Let's go Vox. Hype farms are insane. Yeah, I saw them launch. So big shout out there to the Vox and the Hype farms there. Hyperium. Entry right now 2 says Spirit Tomb, I should say. Balance says, wow, Gugod is awesome. He has already addressed both issues that I brought up for King. Many thanks. So big shout out there to Gugod. And of course, with HeartWifDog. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that very soon. Keeping a track of time here as well. Dark Horse working Hyperion farms on Vox says Dark Horse. Nice. Well done to you guys. Congratulations. So that's I say talked about new farms and stuff launching. There we go. It's all happening in real time. Let's go Vox baby says Spirit Tomb. Future moves. PDI to $1 says Valiant. And of course, we've seen the big address that came in with 555 ETH. Went and bought some top hat. That's Crypto Coffee's token, and also we've saw it buy some PDI as well. So with a relatively fixed supply, what's it, 44 billion? That's making moves, and of course they've definitely got one of the biggest engaged communities on PulseChain is the old PDI crew. And of course they do have protocols maybe like Better Bank coming up with a modified fork of Aave. We're probably going to get an interview with Nikki founding that protocol. Maybe they're going to get a few others as well. And of course that's pretty exciting stuff. And of course James Maria is back, right, doing his things as well around OG Teddy or OG Beer I should say, and there's stuff out there, a troper. All right, so we got Tyndall out there. Radon alert, says Tyndall. A big shout out there. Hey, it's wonderful to see so many different token, really what I call rising stars in the chat there. So big shout out to Radon community as well. PDI to $1 is Valiant, and of course tell me about what GMC Trump coin mining says supply there. So everybody's in the house there promoting, and this is what I said, getting a real sense of change in the PulseChain community. Really exciting there. So we've talked about the bullish pumpamentals. Let's get into some moon math. Let's get moon math, and then of course coming up soon is HeartWifDog. So that is coming up shortly. Episode 10, hot off the press here, and of course the release. So we're going to talk about that very shortly. That's probably only about, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 minutes away from now. All right, so we got Pulse at the moment. This is the Pulse chart. And, of course, you can see it sort of guiding here through the daily chart. And, of course, we're waiting for a golden cross, right? It's coming up very, very soon. We're currently almost back over the 200 moving average in orange. And, yeah, we're getting very close. It is just above us where we are. So 200 moving average is sitting around about 4,200. So 4,200 on the USD price. We're currently at 40 is 4,100. We're very close, guys. We're very close. So that's very positive. Obviously, the 50 line there, we wanted that to come up. But what we will probably see is this break above the 200. And, of course, the 50 keep rising. And then we'll get a golden cross on the daily here on the old PulseChain chart. But that's not really what I was talking about here. That's coming up. And the RSI is pretty chill. Still high, but chill at 64. And we do have a high low in the RSI, but we've got pretty flat top line. But that is just chilling away at the moment. So it'd be nice to get back over that 200-day. And, of course, we've got tons of news coming from Trump. We're going to have lots of trade deals leading into that, into May and into June before the 4th of July, right? There's going to be big announcements. Probably India, South Korea, Japan, Europe, places like that are going to be coming out with some big announcements. So the market's going to keep pumping as well. All right, so that's kind of where we are. But let's look at the moon math on here. And we can see that we've got the Richard Hart Ethereum here, or at least what we call it, the PulseChain Strategic Reserve now. And that is sitting at 171,088 Ethereum. As you guys know, eDai was changed into that. And we've had a roller coaster ride, right, with the market, with the value. We are currently down. So it was originally worth $645. The entry price was $3,773. And this is Gerado's site, but actually, by the way, look into RH.com. So this is Gerado, which we happen to be using. So that's kind of neat. Good matching there. I'll post that chat in there as well. That is the site we're looking at for the Magic Cup Ride. Save it to your favorites if you want to keep track of this. There's obviously a major pumpamental for PulseChain that we talked about on that little presentation. And we can see at the moment it was 645 million. It's now worth 433. We have been even lower. You can see here that we were way lower. In fact, we got down almost. So we're at 645 to start. We got almost down to 650 million. Can you believe it? You got to have some. That was $400 million pretty much almost down. So you got to have some grit. You got to have some grit in crypto. So that the magic, the Magic Cup Ride or the PulseChain Strategic Reserve of Ethereum definitely has had its day. But it looks like it's on the turn back to the upside, and the bottom is in, right? That's kind of definitely looking like that to me. And of course, we've got the current Ethereum price at 2,500. We are down 33% at the moment, down 212 million. So, it's a strategic reserve, but man, it can fluctuate in value. But welcome to crypto. That's all we can say. And of course, if we do get this turn in the PulseChain price, it's going to be, another way of maybe a sign that Ethereum is on the rise as well. So let's see how that goes. But anyway, so that is kind of where we are. We've got the PulseChain chart, the Magic Cup Ride value, and of course, we're going to talk about the pumpamentals. So let's imagine, let's do math now. This money, this Ethereum, this ETH could be used in multiple ways, right? There's multiple ways this could be used to pump PulseChain. Obviously, the higher the Ethereum is, once it breaks 3,800, for example, if it breaks all-time high $4,900 on Ethereum, and maybe we get up to the top of the bull market cycle at 10, 15,000. Some people have it even higher, 20, 25. Then that would be pretty crazy, right? Let's just stick with maybe 10 to 15K at the top of the cycle. That would be pretty epic. So, and of course, that would re-rate all this into the billions, right? So that's kind of the play where we're heading at the moment. So let's play with some pumpamentals. So I've taken the contract here from Pulse on Pumpanomics, and we can see that we've got a lot of cool things. You can see the fact that it's got the chain, PulseChain. It's got the market cap, 306 million. It's got the total liquidity, adding up all the 70.5 million here. It's got a number of peers at 30 based on this particular peer. And then, of course, down the bottom here, it's got the liquidity sources as well. Now, we're taking the top one here, which is 5.5 million. It's a rat pulse to die, a V1 pool. And, of course, we're going to be playing around with this, the scaling here. So we can play around here, and we can say, what happens if we've got a, net buying amount of $1 million, and it will tell us, we're going to get a 12% gain from that, right? So that's pretty cool. That would take the price up to quadruple zero 4,600. We're currently at 4,100 at the moment. We want to get the 4,200 to get over the 200-day moving average. So yeah, let's see how we go. That would get us over with a nice little pump there, a net buying of $1 million. Now, obviously, with the Magic Cup ride, we've got $432 million in there at the moment. So we're just talking about a few mil there, 1 mil. We're just talking about 1 mil. So that's kind of cool. Now, this is just one way it could be used, right? One way it could be used. And of course, if we decided to go up there, what would be doing a 2x, right? We'd have to go to 2x. We can see that we would need to pretty much get around about, let's see if I can get this right, around about $7.2 million, right? So around about $7.2 million, which is still just a fraction of this, right? So what's that, about 2% or something? It's just a fraction of this. And of course, that would get us up a 2x, right? Which would be pretty awesome. And yeah, that would get us to a price of quadruple zero 8221, right? 8229. Now, to get back to the mean sacrifice price, which was 0001, let's see what that would be. So let's see if we can get to that. Let's see. So approximately that would be about a 2.5x from here, 144%. That would be about $9.9 million. So just under $10 million. And that's still a fraction of the mucho grandes that is sitting here. Now, that is the kind of the net buying activity. And then that gets us up to there, right? So it's not too bad. Not too bad. Let me just zoom in on this just to make it a little bit bigger. Oh, I'm zooming the wrong thing here. And let me zoom on this here, just make it a little bit bigger. I hope you guys can see that in a more fulsome way. Yeah, that's not too bad. So yeah, that's kind of the play there. That'll just get us up to 0001. Now let's see. Let's get some Series X's here. So we got $10 million out of 445? Was it 432? Then yeah, man, let's game on here. So let's move it up a bit and let's see if we can get, what would a 10x be, right? 10x. Let's see here. Well, actually back to all-time high. Let's go back to the weekly here on the chart. And this one doesn't actually have it on here, I don't think. Yeah, it's pretty close. So yeah, let's get back to 27. So 00027, back to the all-time high at the beginning. And where will that get us there? So let's scroll up here a little bit more. And that would get us, around about $27.4 million there. So it's a 557%, up 6.6x multiplier to get us back to there. So there's some pretty, decent, I would say, low-hanging fruit to get up to there. And of course, this can happen, from Magic Cup ride. I mean, it's still just a fraction of the current value. Imagine we're at $10,000 Ethereum, so we're over $1 billion. And now you're only spending, 3%. 3% to pump us 6.6x and get us back to all-time high. That's kind of the thing. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other money out there, right? Retail book, institutional money, VC money, all that sort of stuff out there as well. And, of course, just general growth as well over the bridges. And, of course, now we're getting multiple chains, right? I didn't put this fundamentals, but obviously we've got Sun Mini Meal that is racing through the charts at the moment. They're bringing Banxa on, direct on-ramp. Of course, they're bringing Ramp Now as well. They've got another ramp coming before the end of May, and of course, one in the third quarter. So we're going to have at least six direct on ramps from my memory, including the official bridge and of course Coast. So it's a pretty big deal, and we've got lots of on-chain on ramps as well, Pulse LN and things like that. So pretty exciting. And so yeah, that's pretty weird. Now let's go do some real math. Let's start really believing here, and let's go do 50 mil. Let's do 50 mil. And let's play with that. So 50 mil, that would take us to 15x here on our moon math, and that would get us to 0006, which is pretty cool. Now, what would it take us to get to 1/10 of a penny? Let's see how high we have to go here. 1/10 of a penny, and this is all things equal, right? All things equal. So let me just go up to here. We're scrolling still. Oh, we just got there just. Yeah. So we're talking about $69 million. At everything equal, all the other assumptions equal, with the net injection there, 69 million, and which is still a fraction, right? Still a fraction of this amount, and of course a decent fraction, but still a fraction. And you could imagine if we're up at Ethereum, just a moon math there. Obviously, relativity's changed a lot of other metrics like ETH price and things, but we've got the ratios, to Pulse and things. But we got 431. So if we were at $1 billion, then you're only looking at what's 7%. Do a 25x on here, and that would get us to 1/10 of a penny for Pulse. So it's getting pretty bullish here. Now this calculator only got limits, but the higher we go, the more x's of course we do, the amount of money. So if we get up to $100 million, which is still a fraction of here, what's about less than maybe 23%, something like that, at the current value, that would only be 10% of $1 billion. and if Ethereum was at 10,000 or so. So yeah, that'd be a 45x on here as well. So pretty exciting. And that's just with the Magic Carpet Ride. Imagine adding everybody else's money in. And of course, if you guys know, it will just go up at a square value as well. I think that's exactly the same V1, V2 pool operate with the X times Y equals K formula. And that'd be pretty bullish, right? So kind of cool. Pretty sure that's how the V1s operate as well. So yeah, that is example here. Now, obviously, there's V2 pools and V3 pools. So yeah, but that is kind of the main stuff. That's the main pool. It'd be a 45x there, so 4,400%. And of course, everything else on PulseChain, if it's going up relative to Pulse, like we see with PulseX, could really go insane, right? Could really go insane. Let's just quickly bring that in. Got to keep keeping a manage of the time here. We're at 50 minutes on the hour. So that's pretty much it on the fundamentals. I think we're going to probably talk more about that in the future. We're going to quickly go through the PulseChain results at the moment. Pulse at the moment, quadruple 04. And that is up 1.5%. We're on day 739 since PulseChain forked Ethereum. And of course, on the 10th of May, 2023, and then went live on the 13th of May. So we're 739 days later. And PulseChain's there up 1.5% at quadruple 041. A moving average. Things could be starting to get real there, right? PulseX at the moment, quadruple 0384. And that is up 0.8% at the moment. The buy and burn 1.41. Saying about 7.14% of the public supply, excluding the OA. And Signum token there, $1.86 is up 1.5%. And that is the inflation around about 55 mil. As I say, only 0.03 ink per second now, and only 2,600 ink per day approximately. So very low there. And Hex at the moment, 9/10 of a penny, down 2%. EHEX at 2700 of a penny. Combined price EHEX PX at 1.16 cents at the moment. That is where we are on the day. Now, gas prices, 1.5 million beats, only 2 cents for a PulseX swap at the moment. The validators have been climbing. Wow, we've just climbed a lot. We're up about another 400, 450 validators since yesterday, I believe. So that's pretty exciting, getting back up. And the bridge at the moment is sitting at 97 million. So we're up about 400,000 from yesterday. So things are heading in the right direction. We'll get back over 100 million, and then it's game on very quickly. Imagine all those pumpamental X's we get. We'll be climbing the hundreds of millions anytime, and it's just going to start running away, right? That's kind of the play. Now we've got a few comments in the chat here, but we're going to go through our last topic, which is the total volume, $20 million on PulseChain at the moment. So slightly down from yesterday. I think we were sitting about 22. We've got transactions at the moment, 218,000. And typically we're over 300, so it's on the lower side. Some of the top performers at the moment, we've got Prink Ink Printer there with the liquidity fork there from Faster Abdul, up 87%, big move there, 1.8 cents. We've got Heart Tribute there, been around for 2 months. Pump Tires, my guess there, up 32%. And then Soul Sun Mini Meal, as you guys, I covered this yesterday, I think it was. This, of course, had a new on-ramp launch following the Banksa one, which is still being refined. And, of course, this had Ramp Now, right, launched. And, of course, that's having a lot of money coming in through that. There's a lot of money flowing through there. And that is up 32%. In fact, it's at all-time highs as a new token. So look at that chart. There it is, 12.7 cents. So just rocketing near. Pretty exciting. Now there are a lot of big holders, so there's questions around that perhaps, but the chart is speaking for itself at the moment, and we're getting a lot of money coming through these on ramps. And like I say, we should have by the end of May have 3 on ramps from Sun Mini Meal. The big banks should be working fine. The ramp now, and of course the third on ramp as well could be pretty exciting where this all heads. So pretty awesome. It's a big shout out to Sun Mini Meal, and of course Hex Scout been covering this in detail with some awesome breakdowns if you want to check out Hex Scout to cover that as well. Now Die Hard is moving up there 13%. Surf of course has been launched only 11 days ago. It's been doing pretty well, also up 11% there. Top Hat there from number one, I would argue probably top influence on PulseChain is Crypto Coffee all round. If you take all the measures into the case and stuff, been a great ambassador for PulseChain. And look at that chart, up and away there, 3,200 of a penny, and things are ramping up there for the old Crypto Coffee. So check that out. I did an interview with him like a week or so ago, so check that out too on the channel. PUSD the Grays, one of the heavyweight, I call it a blue chip inverted commas on the old PulseChain. That's up 7% as well. A lot of influence of banking and community backing for that. Some really nice rebranding on the brand as well. A Troper there from James Maria. There is up 7% as well. Teddy Bear OG up 6-7%. So James Maria ecosystem back on the move. In fact, let's have a quick look at the Troper die pair here as well. and look at that chart. So it's back on the move there on the 4 hourly. Let's look at the daily. We're on the move there after all the dramatics here on live stream, and we're back up at 6/7 of a penny there. So moving back up on the old Atropa there. No, it's on the comeback. So pretty cool. We've got APC, Ape and Pulse there up 6% as well. So we've got quite a few moving up there. Bitcoin number 14, Secret Conspiracy there as well. Shout out there. Someone held me to contempt or something, not because I brushed past it yesterday or something. But there we are, Secret. I see your Secret. We might talk about that on another day, but that's up 5% as well. And then we got remember one of the OG WebShare printer tokens, Teddy Clear. They've been around for a month as well. That is up 5%, and those are kind of all the ones over 5% at the moment, which is pretty cool. So that's going to bring us into our second part of the show, which is our kind of our main event here, which is Heart with Dog or Hog. And of course, we're going to follow the Hog token and the main character, the Hog as well. So that's where we're going to head next. So a big shout out. We're going to have a timestamp for that at the end of the live stream as well. So people will jump straight to the Heart with Dog. And also, we're going to have all the links to Heart with Dog as well. So you're going to be able to check all that stuff out. But let's get into the comments first to see what people thought about some of that Pumpamentals and Moon Math there. What else there? We got the MVS Crypto. Heart with Dog is the best anime manga on PulseChain. It certainly is rocking it. It's going viral for sure. And it's a pretty good story there. It's going to twist, and I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to talk about it shortly, so I won't go too much into it yet, but we're going to get there. What's up with the PDI? Is it minting, not minting? So that's from Bitfinex, asking a lot of questions there at the moment. We've got Brennan answering some of those. Thanks for that, Brennan, in the chat there. We've got Tortoise Johnny, when moon. And Brennan says, bonding with other liquidity pools to create a peg or above. Lots of moving parts. Hard to say for sure, says Brennan there. Get on. You guys having a good chat in there about PDI and stablecoins. Tortoise Johnny says, after the red notice disappears, the streams will come. That is true. That's true. And what PMI index will moon and take altcoins with it. That's PMI. It's PMI 500, right? That's the one. Yeah. Big shout out there. All right. What else? We got any other comments? We're going to talk about that now. All right. So let's get straight into it. We're going to go big screen now. We're going to go big screen. It's time. So let's play this out. And let's go to the big screen. So here we are. And it's tiny little Superman down the bottom. Tiny little Superman down here. All right. So that's because we're going to play the main event here. And that is, Heart with Dog. So the old Hog token is rocking it up the DMV. And, it's having a big anime surge. You're going to be seeing a lot more about it. I think they're going to be doing some pretty exciting things on PulseChain moving forward. They've already done some incredible things over the last 7 months. And we have the latest episode, chapter 10. In their story with the main character is Hog. You're going to have to watch all of videos yourself. We're going to be just doing parts of chapter 10. You're going to have to start again at chapter 1 right through. And there are twists and turns. There are emotional up and downs. There are things that you wouldn't even imagine. But if you like action-packed anime or comics or cartoons or game, this is the thing for you because it's pretty exciting. It has got influencers in it. So well-known PulseChain influencers are in there. It's got big celebrities around the world. It's huge. So it's doing a lot of great stuff. And so we're going to have fun talking about this. Now, we're going to be playing parts of this clip. We're going to play the little anime intro. You're going to have to watch the beginning of the story yourself. And then we're going to jump forward and we're going to watch a bit of the fight scene. And we're going to cut it off just when you get the decision there. So you're going to have to find out yourself what happens with the fight between Hog and Colin McGregor. You heard it. Colin McGregor is in this. And, man, it is awesome. You guys, if you're going to be laughing at home, hold on to your seat because you don't want to fall off. That's all I'm going to say. So we're going to do that. And then, of course, we're going to stop there. And then you guys can go and check out all the socials for Heart with Dog as well as the website. And on the website, which we're probably going to be covering tomorrow again on this channel, is the rest of the series. So chapter 1 through to chapter 9. And, of course, it follows Hog. And you're going to see so many different things. You're going to see PulseChain influencer characters, all sorts of stuff as per the thumbnail. It's going to be pretty epic there. And I know a lot of people like comics. A lot of people like anime. This is going to be something you really, really will enjoy. And I encourage you share it around because it's just another deepening of some of the things that are on PulseChain that a lot of people may be interested in, just don't know about. So share it around. Tell your friends, tell all that about it as well, because it's pretty exciting. And, man, I think they could have some very cool things coming up in the future as well. this can go many places. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so let's get into it. Let's play a little bit of the intro anime clip, and just give you a little teaser about what the story is going to be about. So there's a little anime clip, and then we've got the actual story for chapter 10, which has got Colin McGregor in it, and of course the main character, which you follow from chapter 1 through to 10, is Hog, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, we got HeartWifDog in the house at the moment. Appreciate you, man. A big shout out to you. It's a pleasure, man, to cover such an awesome anime art. And of course, we're going to be covering more kind of arty things on PulseChain, because we've got some really good artists and really good ideas playing out on PulseChain. So, and I think it just enriches the whole ecosystem, right? So it's going to be pretty cool. PulseChain, Pulse for Cat says Hog and anime is action packed, especially loving the 90s anime nostalgia. So many crazy characters could be in competition with One Piece there. So yeah, that's from Pulse for Cat. That is true. All right, so let's play a bit of this video. And this is chapter 10, folks. Chapter 10. And it's going to be pretty fun to see. And we can actually see it on the line here. So let's do that. So we got, HeartWifDog. And this is the site here on the old X. So we're going to just post that a little bit as well. So let me post that. You guys can check it out. I encourage you to check it out. It's got all the things. It's got the website. It's got also the Telegram link, so you can follow on Telegram. Definitely hit the follow button. Remember, every time you follow some of these cool projects, you help everybody. And of course, it's got the Telegram group. I encourage you to join that too. So follow on X, follow on Telegram for more great anime, comics, stories, and stuff like that. The next chapter 11, things like that. And of course, check out on the website, which we'll probably be covering tomorrow on the live stream. But check it out today, HeartWifDog.com. And that is on the website. And you're going to see all the other chapters and all the other features on the website, which we'll probably be covering tomorrow. So check that out for sure. Now, obviously on the site, we've also got the latest chapter 10 that's just been posted. So if you actually scroll down, you'll see the latest episode, chapter 10, Whiskey Business, there as well. We're going to be showcasing that, but that is out. So yeah, let's talk about it a little bit. So Whiskey Business here, the Hex Fighting Championships are here. Hog enters the octagon with the fierce Jarasans by his side, eyeing one goal, topple the cocky but dangerous Irish champ and win a sit-down with Dana White. So that is the story there. Chaos erupts outside the cage. A rogue fan dounces Somi and Pikachu to beer, and that was a huge mistake. So, everyone knows Somi, big PulseChain influencer there. Fist Fly, Tempest Flare, and Russell Crowe's had enough. So you got a lot of celebrities in this as well. I love that. Our biggest chapter yet drops with explosive energy, with next level voice acting and heart pounding stakes. Only one question remains: will Hog rise as the true hero of PulseChain? So will Hog rise as the true hero of PulseChain, or fall under the bright lights against Colin McGregor? The fight for glory starts now. So we're going to talk about that. That is what we're going to look at. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. This is pretty exciting. Let's go. Click the play button. Let's click the play button here. All right, so that is the anime intro, guys, and you can see it's full of a lot of variety and, of course, action-packed there. The main character, of course, is Hog, and, of course, it is pretty cool. So, yeah, it's going to be fun there. So we're going to get into the next bit. This is we're going to jump through. So after this bit is the actual beginning of chapter 10. So you guys need to go and watch that, right? So you need to go and check that out. And of course, that is on this. Go follow on X and hit the website, and you can go watch that in full. So get involved, get engaged, and check that out. So this chapter 10 is going to start, but we're going to jump through chapter 10, and we're going to get up to the fight scene, right? So this is going to be pretty fun. So let's check this out as well. and we're going to jump into the future. We're going all the way through to 3 minutes and 22, and I checked it out. So I'm going to play that now, and I'll jump back with you. So enjoy. The fight is about to begin between Hog, the main character, and all chapters between chapter 1 and chapter 10, and of course Colin McGregor. So best of luck, Colin McGregor. All right, maybe he's going to be the Prime Minister of Ireland. Who knows? We shall see. All right, let's play this little clip.
了解。
Who the fuck is this guy? Okay, 冷静にいろよ。そいつの挑発に乗っちゃいけない。Well, who cares? I'm the fucking superstar around here. And this is my world. You're just living in it. You furry fucking bastard. Don't worry. I'll give you a red panty night after I bounce your head off the canvas.
おお、それを見てみよう。はあ？へっへっへっ何？
インフィニティも他のクリプト術のスキルはここで使えないぞ。そいつの動きを読み込むしかない。
You're getting good advice from that fucking lizard. You'll do fucking nothing. Telegraphed. Yeah, I could see that from Ireland, you fool.
Ike, Hog! お前ならできるぞ。あの野郎をやっつけろ、Hog! 口を閉じるんだ、このクソヘタレが。こいつはやべえぜ。ラスラは喧嘩が大好きなんだ。どうすなよ、おい。帰るからよ。おい、この試合はもうダメだ。お前はそいつのレベルにやっぱり間に合わん。これ続くとお前は死ぬぞ。
そんなことはさせないよ、シャン。僕は人生で一度も諦めたことはない。
まあ、やめる気がねえなら、おめえの動きをそんな読みやすくはすんなよ。ヘッドキックと見せかけて、そっから。
All right, so that was the fight scene, and looks like the main character Hog was getting the beat down by Colin McGregor. But what will happen here? Will he be able to step up and, of course, win the fight against the great Colin McGregor? We shall see. Now, I love some of the lines in there, about Ireland and like that. It was pretty classic. We also had some of the other characters in the background, Somi and Pikachu, in a bit of trouble there as well. Some of the big thugs. So it's well worth checking out. I think that was pretty badass. Now, that's only a little clip. It's about 7.5 minutes long. So check it out, the whole film. So we've got all that in the house there. And, of course, get onto X and you'll be able to see the whole thing. Now, we're going to jump back into the queue there. And, of course, you definitely got to check out the whole video. Check out whether Hog will win. That is chapter 10 in the series. Of course, it's called Whiskey Business. So you're going to have to check that out. And, of course, that link is right there. So check it out and watch the whole film. Now, it is embedded here on X, so you can watch it here. Or you can jump over to the website and check that out. And, of course, there's all 10 chapters on the website. We're probably going to cover that tomorrow. So definitely check it out. That is where we're heading. So pretty awesome stuff there. And a big shout out to HeartWifDog bringing some really cool entertainment to the old PulseChain there. with pretty much the top tier leading anime, pretty much storylines on PulseChain. Now, the other thing, of course, every episode has different characters. It's got a lot of well-known people on PulseChain influences. It's got big celebrities in the world. We're thinking of Somi. I think it's even got people like possibly Gerardo, A-Bit Hex, and people like that. So there's a lot of different characters on there. You have to check them out. But you can see on top of the thumbnail here, we've got, I think, SJS is in there, Richard Hart. There's lots of characters that you'll know and love from PulseChain that are here, which is pretty cool in the series. So chapter 1 to 10, definitely check it out. And of course, don't forget to basically, hit the follow buttons on there. Now, the other big thing, of course, is the token does have a token, which is HOG token. So you can definitely check that out as well. It have links to the website and to Twitter and Telegram at the top as well. I definitely check those out. And of course, a breakdown as well of the story there. HeartWifDog is a meme coin token project built around the animated manga story. Now, manga is kind of like anime comics for Japan, and kind of a more ISO Japan. And of course, the story follows Hog, a determined student at Grip Jitsu Sorcerer's Academy, whose life is upended in a single devastating moment. And so you're going to have to watch chapter 1 to find out what that moment is. It took me off guard. I did not expect that. So straight away from chapter 1, you're going to be taken off guard. And of course, every episode is going to bring something very different from the next. These guys are really are giving twists and turns in the storyline. Thrown into a world of chaos and loss, Hog embarks on a journey driven by vengeance, a path that continually tests his inner conflict between retribution and his longing to spread the green candle energy and healing to a fractured world. And of course, chapter 10 there, fight against the great McGregor, who may end up being, maybe get a Prime Minister of Ireland there, saving Ireland, as we say. So it's going to be interesting there. Maybe he's not going to be able to do that if he gets defeated by Hog. Who knows? All right, so check that out, and a big shout out. Also, we got any comments about that? Let's see. We got 2 houses in here. Let's see. I'm not sure who else has jumped in here. Let's have a look at some of these comments. Valen says, my niece is an anime artist. She would appreciate this. We'll definitely share it around because pretty crazy. And you got to check out the whole thing because does Hog win? That's the question. Does Hog win? You just never know with this cartoon series because or the anime series because it has twists and turns. It's unbelievable. If RH goes crazy, will you still call him Superman? I'm not sure what that means. What else do we got? We're going to jump through here. I think that's it on that one. So check it out. And a big shout out, of course, to the developer there who happens to be in the chat, HeartWifDog, the old Hog token there. Pretty awesome. I'm going to post, of course, the chart there as well if you guys want to check it out, the old Hog token as well. Having a nice little green day, as you can see in the chart there at the moment. So it's on the rise too. All right, so that's pretty much it. We're going to be doing a bit more coverage of that tomorrow, and you'll see a lot more on X covering the old anime HeartWifDog, so it's going to be cool. All right, let's get into it. So I think how we're doing for time, an hour and 12 minutes. So we're almost up, so we're going to wrap up the show here, and I hope you have enjoyed that. But definitely go and check out the full video, and who knows, we'll be covering some more about Hog tomorrow. HeartWifDog. So viral anime surge is on, and I can't wait to talk a bit more about. I think tomorrow we're going to talk a bit more about some of the influencers, characters that are in the series. I think that's the next thing we're going to see us talk about. So kind of cool. But for next, we got all night, baby says. But for next year, so there were some good one-liners in that little clip as well. I don't know. Is Hog going to win? I don't know. We'll find out. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We're up to about an hour and 15 minutes, which is our max period. If you want to check out the socials for HeartWifDog, I'm going to post them in the comment section after the video. And, of course, also on X. And definitely give HeartWifDog a follow. They are doing some great stuff. And we want more of this sort of stuff on PulseChain, right? So it's really exciting to see, just so much different artwork, and we're going to be covering more kind of artists and stuff on PulseChain because it's very important. We cover GameFi and DeFi, that's kind of the bread and butter, but we've got all these NFTs and artwork and lots of other protocols on PulseChain. So we're going to talk a lot more about that. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. For sure. Hey, we've got RH Max in the house there. Hey, RH Max is in the house. So, guys, we've had a number of influencers in there, and this is what I love about it. We've really, got a lot of great people. There's something for everybody, right? So, different influencers, something for everybody, and we're all covering some of the same stuff, a lot of different stuff. and it's a lot of fun. So big shout out to RX Max, doing a great job out there as well. Some really cool topics and influences as well. All right, so we got thanks a ton, mate, says HeartWifDog. Hey, it's a pleasure, mate, pleasure. And a big shout out. I mean, what a great piece of work you guys are doing out there. And I think it's really a standout there. So pretty cool. Cheers, Super, says Brennan. And Spit for next says the stream's about to end. RH Max, I think it's time to spin up another one there. How about that? There we go. There's a little bridge into RH Max show, that's for sure. All right, take care, everybody. Check out, Gerardo. Check out RH Max. Check out Jim Rat Crypto. There's lots of great streamers out there streaming their hearts out. And PulseChain, man, it's about to get real. You guys can sense it. You can feel it. Last couple of weeks, it definitely turned around. Accumulating these levels while you can. We're about to get a whole ton of big trade deals, guys. It's really going to start ramping up here, folks. By the 4th of July, it's going to be game on. 26th of May, we could have the big tax bill in place. Man, the foundation's been laid. And, of course, we're probably going to see interest rate pivot, altcoin season begin, money printing. It's game on. So I'm going to leave you this bullish video. Actually, let's go back to the other screen, and I'm going to leave you on this video on the way out. So let's go there. Bam. We're going to hide that one and go into this last one. I'm going to leave you with it. All right, take care. Peace out, everybody. A bull market is about to hit. Let's go.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat of the debt cycle. They are rolling the debts. They are doing the same thing. Each cycle is not to do with a halving cycle, nothing to do with any of that. It's all driven by liquidity cycle and funding of debts. Each phase, we get phase 1 of the banana zone, banana number 1. The corrective zone, banana number 2 comes. Another correction, banana number 3. So this is the banana zone. So that's what happened in 2020, 2021. Off we go. Sorry, that was 2017, which again looks very similar to this one. That was the last one. Here we are now. It can't be clearer to me. I've shown you the macro evidence, the technical evidence, the sentiment evidence. Everything here suggests to me that hold on to your hats. Don't fuck this up. Don't lose control of your tokens. Don't use leverage. Don't get your wallet hacked. Just sit with it. Be careful. Don't get FOMO. Do all of the right things, and we'll go up to the next phase of the correction zone. That's going to be harder, because the next one that happens, we'll have a 35% drop, and you'll all say, is it over? And you'll definitely be sure it's over, and everybody on Twitter will tell you it's over, and it won't be over. By our work, we suggest that because of the elongation of the business cycle, because rates were higher for longer, the forward-looking liquidity suggests that, again, probabilistically speaking, without any guarantees, this whole thing goes into Q1, maybe Q2 of 2026, which would align with Trump's, trying to win the midterms as well. So everything's lined up for us. I think it started. So keep the faith, keep building stuff, and let's keep driving Siri forward with all of this. Thank you.